And welcome back to Pokemon Team Creation Series. From Gamer Forever, we have what is Grandmama Addams' Pokemon team. I'm pretty much done with all. I think the only one I gotta do left is Lurch, I think. I might have already done Lurch. But Grandmama Addams, I believe this is Gomez's grandmother, not Gomez, Morticia, sorry. I believe this is Morticia's grandmother, not Gomez's grandmother, right? I've actually never, let me double check that real quick. Not that it's a huge issue, but I've never actually, Grandmama Addams. Grandmama Addams. Whose grandmama is she, actually? Let's see. She is. Oh no, she's just. She's just Morticia's mother. Grandma is Fester. No, wait, Grandmama is Gomez's mother and Fester's mother. Why is she called Grandmama then? Is that her actual name? But wait, children. But that's Morticia Gomez. I mean, Morticia is through marriage. So that makes sense. So wait, no. But that makes no sense. So hold on 1 second here. But I didn't hate my mother. It was an accident. But hold on. Okay. 1 second here. Grandmama is Gomez and Fester's mother and Pugsley and Wesley's paternal grandmother. She's the daughter of, okay. So she is Gomez's mother. All right. I don't know. So why is she called Grandmama then? I don't know. Anyway, she is, I think, the last Addams for maybe Lurch. And maybe Thing, too, now that I think about it, that I have left on the list. So let's get into it. She's portrayed as essentially kind of the stereotypical kind of hag witch character. She is actually extremely skilled in hand-to-hand combat, which she taught Gomez and Fester, particularly with blades. She's also a skilled potions maker and a bit of a thief or a pickpocket. So first off, Hatterene is kind of our real textbook witch. I could have gone Murkrow, but Hatterene is a bit more macabre than Murkrow, and the Addams are nothing if not macabre. So having a Hatterene as her main Pokemon makes a lot of sense. I then included Thievul on the team because it is one of your textbook kind of thief Pokemons in the name, for God's sake, and a dark type makes sense for the Addams. Also, I also added Gothitelle. This would make sense that maybe as marrying into the Addams family, Morticia and Wednesday both received one as well, but it's said to be seeing into the distant future or have its eyes on something that no one else can see. So the idea that she's kind of gazing into the unforeseen through her crystal ball makes a lot of sense with that. All right, those were kind of the easy ones. I also added, just because of the whole melee with blades and things along those lines, Doublade on here. Mostly because, a lot of the Gomez's are great. A lot of the Addams are great with blades. So I figured that'd be like one of her kind of like, oh, wait, I didn't see that one coming kind of mons. But she's also a potion maker. She kind of a witch. She has her own cauldron. So I had to stop and think, okay, what works with that? And you know what? I think Shuckle makes for a good Pokemon that you can use for potions. It can make berry juice. It's a bug type. I could totally see Shuckle and her just hanging out, and then Shuckle will be like, thank you, Shuckle, puts juice in there, Shuckle! And she's making her own brew. Last but not least, so she is also a fantastic cook. So she would need a Pokemon that's good for either cooking or picking out ingredients, which, ironically, he's been showing up a lot lately. Alolan Eradicate works for that. It is actually known as being a food snob, and being very particular about the food it chooses. People actually take Alolan Eradicates with them to pick out fresh ingredients. So, and it's a Dark-type rat Pokemon, which works for her, I think. The question is, how balanced is this team? As always, it's actually not that badly balanced. There's nothing that really overly destroys this team. But that being said, it's got a ×2 weakness thanks to the 2 dark types to fighting, ×2 weakness to poison thanks to the fairy type, as well as the actually, why did I write poison twice on here? No idea why I wrote poison twice on here. So actually, it does not have. There's only one mod on this team that's weak to poison. I apologize for that. Which does give it a bit more balance. It does have a ×2 weakness to dark though, because of your ghost and your psychic type, pure psychic type. It does have a ×2 weakness to ghost though, with your 2 psychic types and your ghost type, as well as a ×3 weakness to psychic with Wait, what? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's my bad. Sorry. 1 second here. I was looking actually at the strength category. That's what was going on here. Times two weakness to steel. Let's try that again, shall we? Because of Shuckle's rock type and Hattering's fairy type. Times two weakness to ghost types due to the psychic typing. Wait a minute, that can't be right. Weak ghost. Yeah, it's a times three weak to ghost because you have a psychic, you have a ghost, and you have a psychic type. Why did I write two? A times three weakness to bug. That one I did get right because fairy actually resists bug. So that one I did get right. For your 2 dark and your 1 pure psychic type there. A times 2 weakness to fairy with your 2 dark types. A times 2 weakness to fighting, that remained the same. And a times 2 weakness to dark with your, again, your ghost and your dark type. Now, that being said, strength-wise, it has a times 2 strength against fighting types with your 2 psychic types. A times 2 strength against poison, again with them. A times 2 strength against dark types with both bug and fairy. A times 2 strength against times 3 strength, against ghost types with your 2 dark and 1 ghost. A times 3 strength against psychic with the same ones, and a times 2 strength against ice with the steel and the rock type, respectively. With that said, though, I'm just going to be one of the shortest episodes are done. I'm going to see if I even get to 10 minutes. In Kanto, you'll be fine until you run up against the Elite Four. And honestly, most Elite Four should be fine until you get the Lance. Hatterene is a strong Pokemon, but it's only going to do so much, particularly when he also has non-Dragon types. And then still has to deal with the Dragonite. It wouldn't be impossible to deal with him, I don't think. The problem is most of your Mon don't have stats that are really all that impressive or good, strong enough to deal with something like him. Only Shuckle's got the sheer defense, and even then he's got water moves. Steel can resist Dragon, but he's also got fire moves. So it'd be difficult. It'll also be difficult against Blue. Now, against Blue, you will be okay for the first half of his team. Pidgeot's faster than Hatterene, so it's definitely getting a hit in first. But you should be able to manage. You can take care of Alakazam just by switching into a Dark type. Right on, just switch into either... honestly, just switch into Doublade, sorry. Doublade would be the only one actually you really is the only one who can do much against him. Otherwise, you're just going to have to power through. But honestly, no matter what his combination of the next 3 is, you are going to have a problem with the grass, the fire, and the water type. If his starter is grass or fire or water, they're going to be able to take down both Honedge, I keep saying Honedge, Doublade, and Shuckle without too much difficulty due to a fire and water weakness. Then that's not to mention that if he's got water type Mon that's not a starter, it's Gyarados, which would have Intimidate. If it's a grass type, it's Executor, which has got all sorts of status moves and is going to be resistant to any of the psychic moves. And Raticate and Thievul don't have very good stat lines. They can go down pretty quick. Not to mention if he's got a fire type, that's going to be Arcanine, which has got serious stats on it as well. So it's going to be tough. Blue is a maybe. But, no joke, you're not getting past the first gym in nearly every one of these regions. Like, no joke. The only region that I think you could get to the second gym on is Johto, and then you stop at Bugsy because Psychic's no good against Bug. And Scyther is going to be strong enough to take your, I can't remember exactly the full name of her pre-evolution because it's going to be pre-evolved at that point. It's going to be in space form. And Nickit is going down because Dark is weak against Bug. And then Unova, which you're going to kind of stop at both the second gym leaders as well. Lenora's Watchog is going to be way more than any of these two can handle. And honestly, Roxy's Poison might be hurt against any sort of psychic move on what is the name of the damn Mon? I'm really struggling to remember the name. 1 second here. What was the name of it? What is the Hatterene line's full name? Hatini, that's what it is. Hatini. Yeah, that Hatini might know Psybeam, but it's still slow as hell. So, yeah, it's probably not going to work out. And you can't even beat, even if I theoretically got you all the way to all of the champions, you wouldn't be able to beat any of them, frankly. Lance has got 3 Dragonites. That Hatterene is not making it all the way through into those Dragonites because you still got to deal with the Aerodactyl, Charizard, and Gyarados. Steven's Steel typing is just going to be too much, frankly. And not to mention all the cover moves, because now you don't have a fighting type on this team. That Aggron is going to be a monster to deal with. Then Cynthia, even just the Spiritomb alone is going to give that Hatterene a lot of problems. Because it's also got Ghost type moves, and Fairy doesn't resist Ghost. And then you're going to, once that's down, that Garchomp will run a fade on this entire team. Then you deal with, both the Unova champions, just the bug type alone gives this team so many problems. Alder's going to wreak havoc on it. And then Iris has got a Hydreigon just to start with, and it's going to outspeed the Hatterene. So, yeah, it's not going to go well. Diantha, the Hawlucha could take down a Hatterene because it has Poison Jab and Sword Dance. So, and it's going to outspeed that thing immensely. And if that thing, Hatterene, goes down for taking out that Hawlucha is going to wreak havoc on the rest of this team because it has both Poison Jab, Flying Press, and X Scissor, which means the only Mon she has on her team that won't immediately go down just to Hawlucha alone would be Honedge or Shuckle. That's it. And then she's going to bring out Tyrantrum, which is going to wreak havoc on the rest of this team. And then Leon, oh God, Leon, you're screwed because he's got Aegislash, which is going to get a hit off on Hatterene, no doubt. And then you've just got freaking Dragapult, which is going to completely annihilate the rest of this team. And then you got, so Gita might be the one you could do. This is going to be one of those cases where even Gita, who's probably the easiest champion to beat, is no good against this team. This team's not very good against her. She starts with Epathra, and honestly, Hatterene's just going to be neutral to that thing. You're going to trade back and forth for a bit. She's going to then bring out Veluza, which is going to outspeed and probably eventually take down Hatterene. So your option then is probably going to have to be Gothitelle or maybe Honedge just for the, or Honedge, Doublade for the defense. Take that down with a Ghost-type move, sure. Go-Go does come out next, if I'm not mistaken, which you can just take down with the Honedge. But then the King Gambit comes out, and you got no answer for that thing. So, unfortunately, hey, I did make it over 10 minutes. It's a game, set, match, unfortunately. So, Grandmama Addams is not really a very capable trainer. At least in this team. At least with this team. But this is just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think maybe you think this team is the best team ever. Or maybe you have a different idea for the team. Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.